Thanks everyone for coming back for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. My name's TJ, flying solo on this one, and in this segment I'd like to discuss a saying that we've all heard one way or another. And the saying goes, those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. And many of us heard it said all sorts of different ways. People who live in glass houses should throw stones and whatnot. And I was just wondering, with the media, they're throwing stones at Trump. They're so out to make him look bad. And perhaps the media needs to heed this saying. They think their house is made of bulletproof glass. Perhaps, I don't know. But what I don't think they realize is President Trump's not going to just throw some little stones back at him. He's going to lob some boulders in on them, and he's going to do it with what I call the Trump trebuchet. If you're familiar with the trebuchet, it's a medieval siege weapon, and it had the capabilities of literally pounding a castle into dust. So perhaps through Trump's trebuchet, they might get a hurting. And we're going to start with CNN here first. I'm sure most everyone have heard about, courtesy of James O'Keefe, the 3 videos that was released showing CNN's bias towards the Republicans and Trump. And I got to ask, was anyone really surprised? I wasn't surprised. I don't know who would have been surprised. The thing is, it's always nice to have proof, and they just gave it to us. In one of the videos, it showed Jeff Zucker talking into the earpiece of Jake Tapper, instructing Jake Tapper to continue badgering what was supposed to be a 7-minute interview of Kellyanne Conway. And what was supposed to be a 7-minute interview turned into a 25-minute badgering. They were even willing to skip commercials in an effort to make Kellyanne Conway look bad. And I don't think President Trump's going to forget that very soon. Just as an FYI, a GoFundMe has been set up for the whistleblower with a goal of $100,000, and last I heard, they were very close to achieving that goal. And as you know, President Trump likes to have his impromptu press conferences as he's walking through the Rose Garden out to Marine One. And the word is he's already begun ignoring CNN reporters. He'll take questions from the reporters, but when, say, Jim Acosta or whoever starts yelling out a question, he basically pretends they're not even there. So, good for him. You got ABC. ABC, just in the past week or so, aired footage from a shootout at a Kentucky gun range called Knob Creek. And I guess they do this every couple of years. They have put on quite a show there. And there was video of it, and ABC used that video as bombings in Syria. And I guess that was easily disproven. And now ABC's looking kind of dumb. And again, there was a press conference. And an ABC reporter stood up and thought he was going to badger President Trump with a leading question about Syria, and Trump just tore them apart in referencing this Knob Creek interview. So, ABC's going to learn the hard way, I guess. You got NBC. And the thing with NBC is, their Matt Lauer situation just doesn't want to seem to go away. They would do well to keep their head down, stay clear of Trump, because he's going to destroy them on that one. Fox News. The demise of Shepard Smith. I'll take the low road on this one and celebrate his demise. He had one of the lowest rated news shows on TV, let alone Fox. I'm sure that didn't sit well with him. So, I mean, why watch Shepard Smith when you can just turn on CNN? Okay, uh, so you got to wonder who's next, Juan Williams or Chris Wallace, and the on again off again Bob Beckel. He on Twitter, I guess he took some swipes at Fox regarding the Shepard Smith situation, and Greg Gutfeld really tore into him. He stuck it right back in Bob's face. And a little bit of an FYI on Greg Gutfeld. Back in the presidential election, Greg Gutfeld was pretty much made it known that he wasn't a Trump guy. And what's I'm pleasantly surprised with Greg as of lately. He has openly said on the 5 at 5 how everyone knows he wasn't a Trump guy, but he is now. He's all in for Trump. So hooray for Greg Gutfeld getting on board, I guess. You got a rumor of Megyn Kelly returning to Fox. I don't know if that's a 100% done deal, but she did appear on Tucker Carlson. So I guess there might be some rumor of perhaps them trying to find a place to put her. Maybe she'll be the new Shepard Smith. Who knows? Page 2. History of smears on the Republicans going way back before Trump. Remember when President Bush was in office, he was routinely called Hitler. You had the mantra of Bush lied, people died. And President Bush took the high road and took the hits. He just didn't want to say anything. And, I got to tell you, it kind of annoyed me at the time. You had the Democrats, they had a video of someone pushing an elderly woman off a cliff. And so, there became the pushing Granny off the cliff in a wheelchair. Then there was social programs where the Democrats would accuse the Republicans of wanting to starve the children and the elderly. Just recently, the media they seemed pretty quick to release a photograph, and I guess it involved Pelosi and Schumer meeting with President Trump and his generals. And it shows Nancy Pelosi standing up and as if she's lecturing Trump and the generals, and the media was so quick to say, "Look at this, Pelosi's setting Trump and his generals straight." And you go back to when President Obama was in office, and he had that meeting on the tarmac with Jan Brewer, and whatever the discussion involved, she had her finger up and pointed at President Obama, and how quick they were to accuse Jan Brewer of disrespecting President Obama. And then you compare it to what the picture of Pelosi and how the media is so quick to say that she's setting them straight. She's telling them the way it is. And I routinely watch the 5 at 5, and there's an occasional sit-in of a woman by the name of Emily Campagno, and I would be remiss to say she doesn't look 39. She doesn't look a day over 30, if you ask me. But anyways, Emily Campagno was commenting on this Nancy Pelosi picture, and she put it. I thought she really put it into context pretty good. She goes, Nancy Pelosi needs to understand there are three branches of co-equal branches of government, and she said Nancy Pelosi acts like she is the legislative branch, putting her equal with President Trump, and that seemed to irritate Emily Campagno. And I guess the point is, what would make Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer any more important than Steve Scalise or Mitch McConnell? I mean, you have the legislative branch of government, and it's not just one person; it's a group. So, who does Nancy Pelosi think she is? Okay, and we got Juan Williams and his oh so somber attitude on the five, uh, commenting on the way Trump holds his rallies, and the horrible and evil things he's saying about Nancy Pelosi. And sometimes he makes watching the 5 of 5 so difficult, and it was especially so when he was acting oh so somber. So there you have, the media is living in their glass house, and you got to wonder what's the chance they're going to survive the what I'll call the Trump trebuchet. And well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Only time can tell. So keep your powder dry, and remember, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.